Welcome back to the Daily's Husky Highlight Show. I'm Taylor Soper, sports multimedia producer at the Daily.
I'm Kevin Dowd, Husky football analyst for the Daily.
And we're here on Sunday morning. Actually, the clock has passed midnight, and the Huskies went down 10-0 early, but they pulled out the victory 42-31 over the Wildcats. They moved to 6-2 on the season and become bowl eligible in the process. So let's get right to the highlights. Back from the 65-21 drubbing down at Stanford last Saturday, the Huskies were back at home for a blackout game under the lights. They had to face Arizona's prolific passing attack, and if you were a UW fan, you might have been feeling a little uneasy after a first quarter that was really controlled by Arizona. Led by star quarterback Nick Foles, the Wildcats used their quick-throwing, fast-paced spread offense from the get-go, and this 24-yard Jerron Kreiner touchdown helped Arizona to an early 10-0 lead after the first quarter.
But I'd like us to start better than we did for sure. I don't like looking up in the second quarter and we're down 10-0, and I think after 2 drives we had minus 10 yards or something like that. That's not very good efficiency for us.
The game was not over. It was still the first half. We had a lot of football to play, so we just kept our composure. We just kept playing.
Keep playing they did, and after the defense got a stop, it was James Johnson muscling his way 16 yards into the red zone. Then Jermaine Kearse took it 6 yards for the score that brought the UW within 3 at 10-7 with 12:51 left in the second quarter. After an Arizona field goal, it was trick-or-treat time for the Huskies. Watch Chris Polk here on the bottom of your screen as Price throws it back to Aguilar, who launches a sweet pass right to Polk for a 33-yard gain. Polk finished with 4 catches and 100 yards.
I actually was looking up and I couldn't see it till like the last second because of the light, so it hit my hands and I fell down and he tried to take it from me, and I got kind of mad and I was like, come on man, just let it go please, man. And he wouldn't, but I'm glad that, you know, it was in our favor.
That set up a 1-yard touchdown run for Polk, who would score a few more times on this night. To help you keep track and follow our Chris Polk touchdown counter, this was only the beginning for the junior tailback. The Huskies took a 14-13 lead into the break, and Kevin Smith opened up the second half with his 44-yard return. Smith was key on special teams and had 150 yards on 5 returns. And then it was Polk's turn again, showing off his hands on this 17-yard touchdown. It gave the Huskies a 21-13 lead early in the third quarter.
In high school, I was a receiver. I actually came here as a receiver. I only played 1 year running back in high school, so I have a pretty long background receiver. I'm just glad that I was able to showcase my ability tonight.
This dude just did not stop, reeling in a 41-yard catch after a Nate Fellner interception. But just as the Huskies were gaining momentum, it all went away so quickly on this wacky play. Keith Price scrambled and found an open James Johnson, who fumbled the pigskin right into the hands of Wildcat safety Robert Golden. Using every bit of energy he had left, Golden took it all the way, 91 yards for the pick 6. That quieted the fans at Husky Stadium and tied it up at 21 with 10:40 left in the third quarter.
James has the ball, and then their guy catches it and returns for a touchdown. And just a lot of those types of plays I felt like tonight that didn't go our way, I think could have set the stage maybe a couple years ago where we would have gotten beat tonight.
But not this year, not with War Daddy in the UW backfield. After the pick 6, Polk kept his motor going and rumbled his way 19 yards on the very next play. He finally put home this 1-yard touchdown that gave the Huskies a 28-21 lead midway through the third quarter. That was Polk's 3rd touchdown of the night, and nope, he still wasn't done yet. On the next Arizona drive, safety Nate Fellner had this huge hit on Dan Buckner, but it was oddly ruled unsportsmanlike conduct. Steve Sarkisian talked about it after the game.
Again, I'll make the call and I'll try to find out why, because we need to coach our players. I'm not sure how to coach them if I can't hit a guy in the shoulder. So we'll try to figure out what the ruling is and why the ruling is what it is. But obviously some frustration there on a couple of calls tonight.
That led to this Kreiner 9-yard touchdown, and the Wildcats added a field goal to enter the fourth quarter with a 31-28 lead. But you gotta see this play. With less than 10 minutes to go, it was freshman Kason Williams with this ridiculous 48-yard reception. Watch as he catches it and just shoves off 2 defenders, gets a huge block from Devin Aguilar, and Williams rumbled his way down all the way to the Arizona 21-yard line, and that deserves one more look. Watch as Williams reels it in and just get off of me one more time here. has one on his back and just pushes the other one out of the way, and Aguilar comes in and just delivers a huge block right there. That set up a Polk 5-yard touchdown run to put the Huskies back on top, 35-31, with 8 minutes left. And no, he wasn't done yet. It was the defense making a difference 1 minute later with this forced fumble by Will Schamberger and recovery from Princeton Fuimaono. After being embarrassed last week at Stanford, the UW defense allowed just 2 touchdowns and forced 4 turnovers. 6 plays, 50 yards, and 3 minutes later it was who else? Chris Polk with his 5th touchdown of the game, 4th rushing, to cap off a historic night for the junior. His 144 rushing yards gave him 1,016 on the season to join Napoleon Kaufman as the only Huskies to rush for more than 1,000 yards in 3 different seasons. And it was all but over after the Sean Parker interception with just 2 minutes remaining.
I was in cover 2 and just reading the quarterback and get on top of one. When I seen the ball, I just had to make a play.
And I guess the player of the game was by far number 1, Chris Polk.
Definitely. Polk is everything the Huskies needed today. 144 yards on the ground, 100 yards through the air. Somehow he was actually the first player in school history to ever have 100 yards rushing and receiving in the same game.
That's right.
And 5 touchdowns also tied a school record for him. So it's a great day from Polk.
What do you think he was doing so well? I mean, he had 35 carries. Sark was giving him the ball.
Yeah.
He seemed to do it all.
I think really the key for him today was just the way that he was utilized by Sarkisian and offensive coordinator Doug Nussmeier. In the passing game, when they had matches with him one-on-one with linebackers, they went there, used his speed to just simply outrun the defense a lot of the time. And then running the ball, just giving the ball at the middle, and I mean that's what Chris Polk does best, and he showed it today.
And Chris Polk is just a fantastic player, as we all well know. You know, the way he performed tonight, 34 carries, well over 100 yards, 5 touchdowns, another 100 receiving. I think you guys could probably start writing articles about Chris Polk now because he deserves it.
So while it was all about Polk on offense, defensively the Huskies looked a lot better than they did last week at Stanford when they gave up 65 points. Managed to give up just 2 touchdowns. Their last 4 Arizona possessions was a punt, fumble, and an interception. The interception was Sean Parker's interception at the end there. What did they do differently? What did you see out of the defense today against Arizona?
I mean, it seemed like really they were just focused more on stopping the run. I mean, obviously, as last week when Stanford racked up 445 yards on them. Yeah, limited Arizona to 1.9 yards a carry, under 2 yards a carry tonight. And obviously Arizona isn't quite the power running team that Stanford is. They do a lot of different looks, and that probably played a lot more into the Huskies' hands, being not a finesse front, but not the physicality to be able to hang with Stanford. And then in the passing game, Nick Foles threw for his 380 yards like he does every game, but Huskies sort of bended but didn't break, got the turnovers when they needed to, and just an all-around solid performance from the defense. A lot of improvement from last week. Yeah,
Coach Stark was talking a lot about how, you know, maybe 2 years ago this team would have fallen behind like they did and not really stepped up to the challenge, but tonight they did, and with the win they become bowl eligible already. Seems pretty early for Husky fans if you know what has happened in the past.
Definitely.
Bowl eligible, what does that mean?
It's huge for the program, and you could hear him as we were walking into up to the post-game stuff in the locker room. You could hear the Huskies chanting and yelling and screaming. You could tell that this was something that they really wanted, and they were pleased to get it. And I think it means a lot for the program just to have that barrier out of the way already during this season, as opposed to last year where they had to win the last 3 in a row just to get there. I mean, when that happens, it sort of sets up the bowl season as just a reward, and it's just...
They got that out of the way.
Yeah, they got that out of the way. But now that that's happened already, it sort of gives them the opportunity to do more, and to set bigger goals than that. And that's something they can go ahead and accomplish now.
Oh yeah, so they got that out of the way. They're 6-2, but it doesn't get any easier from here. They host Oregon tomorrow. Oh, it's not tomorrow. That would be pretty busy for us. But next Saturday they host Oregon. Another night game, 7:30 at Husky Stadium, and we'll be here. So for Kevin, I'm Taylor. We'll see you next week.